Tina. I am with Green Acres Nursery and Supply, and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of starting your own compost pile. So you probably ever wondered, man, I have all these kitchen scraps and yard waste all over my front lawn and in your backyard, and you think about, I know that I could use this for something and I just don't know what. You want to use it to create a compost pile, of course. So how do you do that? Well, it's really important to have an even amount of green, nitrogen, those are your kitchen scraps, and also an even amount of carbon, brown, your yard waste, the twigs, the leaves in your yard, and to make sure that you're putting an amount in your compost pile that's just going to eventually create beautiful soil someday, that you're going to add to your garden. It's going to create a nice flourishing garden. So how do you know how much you need to put in your pile? Well, it's important to go off the smell. That's very important. As soon as you smell something kind of strange in your compost pile, you're probably putting too much green, you're putting too much kitchen scraps, too much grass clippings and things like that. So really important. And then when you notice that there's no smell at all and there's not a lot of activity going on, you're probably putting too much of the brown stuff, the carbon. So it's always really important to watch your compost pile and make sure you're putting enough of the green and enough of the brown to make it so that it's actively breaking down, decomposing, and that's what turns it into soil. So you're probably thinking, where am I going to put this compost pile? Do I just throw it in my backyard? You can do that, especially people with lots of property or room in their house. They can easily just throw it in the corner of their backyard. But if you're tight for space, you can easily get something like this. We have these awesome tumbling composters here at Green Acres, and what you do is you just like what I told you, you add the kitchen scraps, you add the yard waste in there, and then every few days you just turn it just like that, and it'll make your neighbors really happy because it won't attract any kind of rodents or pests, and it eliminates that smell that sometimes people don't really like that comes with building a compost pile. So yeah, that definitely is an easy and convenient way to do that. We have different ones over here. We have the double composting bin, so double the bin, double the fun. And then we have a smaller version of the one I showed you first. So yeah, this is a great way to get started on building your first compost pile. It's really not that hard. You can get very scientific with it and very detailed about it, which is great and fun. There's different methods to doing it, hot compost piles, there's like the dry ones, and of course there's like the tumbling ones, and honestly you can easily find one that works best for you, whether you want to create a lot of compost for a huge garden or just have enough to just sustain the houseplants in your home and the plants that are potted around your house. But really important too, before you do get started, when it comes to putting in the kitchen scraps, just make sure you're not putting any kind of dairy in your compost pile, any kind of oil, like food that's been cooked already, old leftovers, any kind of meat or dairy products really. You want to keep it pretty green, carrot tops, pepper skin, whatever it is, tomato parts that you discard of. And yeah, and before you know it, you'll have nice, nutritious soil to add to your garden. Depending on how big it is, it could take anywhere between 3 to 6 months. And then, so yeah, be patient. It'll take some time to get your recipe right. Before you know it, you'll be having some beautiful compost that'll be ready to use for your garden. And if you have any other questions, you can just come on by to Green Acres and we can guide you and help you figure out the best thing for you.